Hey guys, it's Mark from parkflyers.com. Today we're looking at the Kyosho STRR Truggy. This is a nitro-powered Truggy 0.28 Novarossi engine with a tuned pipe. Very, very light, weighs about 9 pounds, and it handles excellent, jumps great. The acceleration, I would consider it explosive. Because the car is so light, when you do jumps, the attitude is very easy to correct in the air, and it's actually a little bit easier to drive than the Sledge, believe it or not. The racing clutch in this is very, very quick to react, and it makes the tires, that spin, and this thing leaps off the line. Anytime I'm going through a corner, this thing just feels like it's completely planted. It doesn't have understeer or oversteer. It just drives right through the corner. Super, super, super quick, super nimble. The shocks on this are second to none, and the overall, design of it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's unbelievable. This car, the Sledge, is one of my best-selling ready-to-run cars now. This is with a 4S battery pack. This weighs about 13 pounds. With a 6S, it's going to weigh even more, and with the Sledge stock tires, it's going to weigh at least a pound more. So this could probably weigh up to about 15 pounds. So you have 9 pounds versus 15 pounds. So how does this drive? Obviously, this is quick and nimble too, but it's not going to be as nimble as the STRR, and it's not going to jump as good. The car definitely has a higher top end because it's electric, especially on 6S with the right gearing. You could probably take this close to 70. This probably tops out probably about 45, 46 miles an hour. But if you race both of these on a track, it's probably going to be pretty close because it drives a lot better. It handles better, jumps better. It brakes in a much shorter distance than the Sledge. It's just really, really nice, and it's very, very lively on the track. Now I haven't ran them head-to-head, so we don't have a head-to-head comparison, but the way that this feels is, it's super torquey. It does handle really good. You do need to upgrade with the optional sway bar kit. This has sway bars from the factory, so you don't need to upgrade the Kyosho, but overall, just a quick comparison, a quick overview, just to show you two different types of cars. By the way, this is over 10 years old, and this is obviously brand new. I would bet if we were racing on a track, I would probably put my money on the Kyosho STRR. Please leave comments below. I want to know what you guys think, who would win in a race. We are probably going to do that pretty soon. We're going to go on the track, and we'll see. We'll have a track with 3 or 4 jumps on it with some nice sweepers, and we'll see which one can take the cake. Obviously, we're going to put a 4S in this. A 6S would not be fair. I also don't think it would drive that great on 6S with the stock wheels. But with these wheels, the Traxxas response wheels that are much lighter than the stock wheels, you'll probably have a little bit of a chance on the STRR. Again, this is nitro versus electric. We want to hear what your comments are, what you think below. What do you guys prefer, and what would you like to see the race happen? Please let us know if you're interested, and we will post that in the next couple weeks. One cool thing about a really precision, racing Truggy is that the shocks are second to none. Beautiful anodized aluminum. You have aluminum shock caps, really durable. The perfect spring rates. These are really tuned to perfection. Now, if you push down, you know a good design when you push down on the shocks, and it always returns to a level stance. That's exactly how you want it for racing. No matter how many times you push this, there's going to be no sag and just no droop. It's just beautiful. It just returns to center every time. Obviously, the sway bars are really a nice touch on this kit. They're standard. You have really powerful Airtronic servos in here. Novarossi 0.28. Now, the tuned pipe, we have a Novarossi tuned pipe on this thing. It does add a little bit of mid-range power, obviously a little bit off the line as well. But like I said, this motor is absolutely beautiful. It sounds as good as it looks, and it's super reliable. When you're breaking them in, they're very, very hard to break in. Very hard on the pull start. You have to be very careful to give it light tugs, otherwise you could break the pull start. But when you break this engine in, it just lasts for so many years. If you just run it slightly rich, this thing will last for years. Same thing in the back. The shocks are really plush. They always return to level. Very consistent, just like a racing Truggy. Obviously, you have to build this. This is a kit. You have to build this from scratch. But this is, even by today's standards, I would I would consider this state of the art and a very, very modern and current design. There's nothing wrong or lacking in this design here. It brakes on a dime, this thing. And just to mention again, it's not just about, you know, the torque and power of like a really high torque brushless motor. It's also power to weight ratio. You know, the Sledge is about 5 pounds heavier than this, and that is a big difference. That's a big deal on the track. This completely feels like a different car. It feels more of like an athlete, a sprinter. A lot of times right before a jump, I'm hitting the throttle, and you really have to watch how much throttle you give, because you a lot of times you overshoot the jump. If you really squeeze it too hard, this thing just leaps off a jump like a cat, like a scalded cat, I should say. Very, very nice car and addicting to drive. We had a custom body for this. We hope that Traxxas or any other company would copy this design. It's beautiful. I think it's a lot nicer than that. Please put comments below what you guys think of this design. Maybe Traxxas watches the videos and they'll take some hints. But that is a beautiful design. Look at that airbrush. That faded look really looks great. I think it looks a little bit better than the Sledge. Anyway, we want to know what you guys think about this comparison, and let us know. If you look at the response of the Sledge, obviously it returns level every time, just like the STR, but the rate is a little bit slower, and you can tell it's just heavier. It's a heavier front end, and it doesn't respond, you know, like a lightweight car does. So this car, like I said, is about 5 pounds heavier, and you're definitely going to feel that in the jumps, the turning, the braking, everything. You feel that, definitely, especially after you drive this. Now, one of the things I like about the Sledge is that it is electric and it's super reliable. You could always play with the speed and play with your torque depending on the gears that you use. And this car all the parts are currently available. They're in much better supply than Kyosho parts, so that is definitely a big advantage for the Traxxas. And obviously this is going to be a lot more durable. This was built to bash. Now, just to go over a couple things, because we sell a lot of Sledges, we can tell you that the first part that's going to break is your shock caps, especially in the rear of the car. We have a lot of people doing that. A lot of the motor screws from the factory aren't completely tightened down on the bottom of the car. We recommend taking them out and just putting thread lock and retightening them. What else breaks? So we also have a lot of people's dog bones coming out in the rear. Traxxas sent out an O-ring to compensate for that. If you guys bought a Sledge from us, contact me and you get some free O-rings. And so those are the issues with the Sledge.